Hi there. So today I'm going to show you about how I've been developing this rough logo towards a finished logo that I'm using in my 3Z universe in a scene and probably some other scenes as well. Um, so rather than using real life logos, I want to make some imaginary logos that look kind of familiar to logos that we see already. So here's a sketch. This is one of my draw everyday sketches that I did earlier on this week, and I had in my mind that I wanted to create a logo going on with this idea. So the logo is a sort of retro feel to it. I remember when I was a kid, there was a music logo on cassettes. Was it Bass? I'm not sure, but it had concentric circles going in a bit like that. So that was an inspiration. And also this looks a bit like Ono, which is a Spanish telephone company. So I wasn't copying them, it's just sometimes you have these things in your head from things, and then you know, when you draw this it'll come out. And then but anyway, this logo is my own original logo. So from this, so if you're using, a really good idea to develop logos is in a spline editor. So you can use Illustrator, etc. I like to use 3ds Max because I can import, because I know it well, and I can also import the JPEG image that I photographed here. So this is just a drawing, as I said, it was a drawing I did and I photographed it. And what I do in 3ds Max is I make splines. So you draw, you always have to do this, take it to there, and you have to draw the splines gradually around the object that you've made. I'm just doing this very roughly. Of course, you have to refine the splines, you have to go into the vertices, you have to move the vertices around once you've drawn them, and so on, until you get a closed spline. So whatever software you're using, a closed spline like that. And again, it can be a 3D modeling software as well. And then I right click and then convert to editable poly. So that's going to make a solid there. So as you can see, I'll just delete all that stuff. And here's just the progression. So I recorded the progression at key points that I liked, and then I duplicated the logo. So that's the original. This is the next part of it. So the how it evolved. So it looks a bit like Ori. And I made that a bit more square, which looked okay. And if we render this out like that, yeah, I can do that now. We can render this out, and then you can see it with a black background. And for those of you interested, this week in the Fab Lab, where I'm doing a contract at the moment in Barnstable in Exeter, you can make t-shirts. So what I'm going to do is actually make a vinyl cut. I'm not actually, you can make logos on t-shirts. You can actually make t-shirts with a sewing machine, but don't worry. You can make logos on the t-shirt with a special vinyl. So on the vinyl cutter, you use a special vinyl, and you put an iron down or a heat press, and it presses onto a t-shirt. So I'm going to make this as part of my merchandise as well. So it's going to be sort of 3Z t-shirt merchandise. So from that, I went back to the original design, like so. And as I say, it's very, even just for an imaginary logo, you want to make it look quite good. So you have to really get to the vertices and move them around. And like a piece of art or a painting or a music composition or a piece of photography, these shapes have to all resonate with each other. They have to form part of a whole. That's what good logo design is all about. And I think as well with retro logo design, that was kind of like the golden age. The logos are very popular now because those logos from that time, because they were really well thought out and the designers were like top notch. So there's kind of a nostalgia for that. So anyway, what I had to do is, perhaps if you're doing your own logo, starting out from a drawing, you know, really push things around and make it sing as a piece in itself. And then, as I say, you can get things like t-shirt designs as well as your art. So then starting to subtract things, seeing what happens, thinking that less is more, perhaps subtract some elements. And then I came up with this design here, and I'll just convert that to poly. Although it doesn't look like that much as a spline, when we convert it to solid and then render to see what it would look like with a background, I really think it starts to look good. It's quite simple. It's quite a bit like Miro, Jean Miro, the artist. Again, but it has that retro futuristic 70s futuristic feel to it. Perhaps after the 70s I'll go 80s retro futuristic. So what we got here, yeah, that's my files. What I was going to show you is what I'm working on in 3ds, the other 3ds Max that I've got open. I'm actually putting it into a 3D scene, so the logo's going here as well. So not only you're going to I'm doing a t-shirt design with a flat image on, I'm including it into a 3D scene as well. So hopefully I can find the other 3ds Max. Yeah. So there it is. So that's the final piece. Just select it all, convert to poly, and then render out. And there it is. Just the design. And then you include it into either your 3D graphics or 2D art as well. That's great. So that's quite exciting. So that's basically taking it from just a sketch to this and the evolution of the design. Always keep evolving what you're doing. Don't try and ask questions. Does it look good? Could it look better? Could it look better with less? Could it look better with more? And then take it on a journey, and then you should come out with some cool results. So thanks very much, and be sure to tune in next week. Check out my blog, jamesabelart.com/blog, for my 3Z Universe artwork and products and shop, etc. And remember, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel, you can subscribe to my newsletter on my website, and also my Twitter and everything else on the planet, such as Instagram. So thanks very much, and I'll speak to you later. Comments and questions below. Bye for now.